There's domestic violence right here in our hometowns. In 1 year alone, there were 661 cases of assault and rape in St. Clair and Blount counties. Think about it. Hundreds of women and children were assaulted in their own homes, not by strangers, but by someone who had said, "I love you." And those are just the cases that were reported. Domestic violence happens everywhere and crosses all economic and social boundaries. Many women in rural communities like ours are isolated and have no one to turn to for help. Last year, more than 2,000 victims called the YWCA Central Alabama 24-hour crisis hotline, many of them from communities just like ours. The YW's trained staff and volunteers help to develop a safety plan and determine if their lives are in danger. Every day, 4 women in the United States die as a result of domestic violence. Look around you. 3 out of 4 of you know someone who is or was a victim of domestic violence. So why should we care about domestic violence? Because these aren't just numbers. These are people we care about, real people, people we know and love. It could be your sister, your granddaughter, a friend, a neighbor, a church member. That's why I care, and that's why I want to make a difference.
I care because no one should live in fear, especially children. Here in our community, the YWCA's domestic violence shelter called Our Place is a safe haven for women and children who are victims. This is where they come to begin to heal. Last year, 79 women and children in fear for their lives found the refuge they so desperately needed right here. Many victims arrive with only the clothes on their backs, and Our Place, with the help and support of many in the community, fulfills their immediate needs of clothing, food, and a place to sleep without fear. But the shelter staff also helps victims with their long-term needs through counseling and case management. They help them find work and a place to live so they can start new lives free from abuse. I like knowing that my community is making such a positive impact on so many lives through the YWCA, and I like being a part of that.
I care about victims of domestic violence because no one should have to face her lowest moment alone. Navigating the complicated legal system can be a daunting process, especially for someone who is already scared and overwhelmed. Last year, YWCA court advocates held the hands of 1,252 victims from St. Clair and Blount counties, listening to their fears, answering questions, attending hearings, and connecting them with resources. YWCA attorneys also provided free legal assistance for 120 victims, helping them secure protection from abuse orders, divorces, child support, or assisting with child custody and visitation issues, as well as financial or housing issues. These are some of the many ways the YW is making a significant impact on our community, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
I care because we have to break the cycle of domestic violence. The sad reality is that 90% of children who grow up in homes with domestic violence witness the abuse, and half of men who frequently assault their wives also frequently assault their children. 1 out of 3 children who lives in a violent home will become an adult abuser or an adult victim of domestic violence. The YWCA's Children in Crisis program in St. Clair County helps children and teenagers learn to confront emotional, verbal, physical, or sexual abuse. Counselors guide them through feelings of guilt or anger as they come to understand that family violence is not their fault, and they learn appropriate ways to deal with their anger so that patterns won't be repeated. Prevention is another way to decrease statistics. The YWCA Healthy Relationships program teaches middle and high school students how to recognize at an early age the difference between a safe, loving relationship and a controlling, manipulative, or abusive one.
I care because I want to help someone who's hurting find the hope and strength to start over. Domestic violence is one of the main reasons women and children become homeless. The vast majority of domestic violence cases also include financial abuse. Having no access to money makes it nearly impossible for women to start over. The YWCA helps victims with housing costs, deposits, and utility bills so that they can begin to rebuild their lives. That's why I care.
I care because there are more abused women and children than we can possibly know, and they are usually too embarrassed or too scared to ask for help.
I care because I don't want anyone in our community to live in fear.
I care because I grew up in a safe, loving home, and I believe everyone deserves that.
A house is not a home unless it's safe for everyone who lives inside.
It is our responsibility to lift up all women in need so that they can be independent, productive, resourceful, and safe.